He's accused in a horrific crime, kneeling on a 2-year-old girl's chest until she stopped breathing, then placing her body in a bag and disposing of her in a dumpster. The disappearance of little Jozlynn Martinez shocked West Michigan, first as her family and police hoped to find her alive, then as police searched through tons of garbage without success for her body. This weekend, for the first time, we heard from the man accused in her death. Jeffrey Malmberg, in a jailhouse interview, told 24 Hour News 8's Ken Kolker that the death was an accident and that he loved Jozlynn and planned to marry her mother. Malmberg is charged now with second-degree murder, tampering with evidence, and larceny. He is in the Kent County Jail on $1 million bond. And 24 Hour News 8's Ken Kolker joining us now to talk about the interview and what he learned from the time spent with Jeffrey. And I guess many folks had seen the interview, obviously, yesterday across the state. In fact, it's picked up by other TV stations and the Associated Press. For those who didn't, how does an interview like this come about in the first place?
Well, Jeffrey Malmberg is at the Kent County Jail, which means he gets visits just like any other inmate there. And his visiting day was, one of his visiting days was Saturday, so I signed up as a visitor. 7:30 I walked in, signed up as a visitor like anybody else, waited to see if he would take me, and he took me as a visitor.
With that in mind, were you surprised that he accepted to see you, and why do you think he would do that?
You know, I was relatively surprised. I do this quite often, and 9 times out of the 10 they tell me to go away. And I think he wanted, you know, he heard people saying that he was a monster, and I think he wanted to address that.
Well, our job, obviously, as a news organization, to find out why something happened and to look into a story like this. At the same time, while people have applauded your efforts and ability to get that information, there are some people who have, through Facebook and other means through our website, have asked, why would we give a guy in this particular situation a forum to speak? Why was it important for us to talk to us? Why did you do that?
Well, you know, this is a crime that a lot of people have been following, and it's horrific what happened here. And I think it's an important question to ask, which is why. You know, why did he do this? Is he the monster that people think he is, or is there something else going on?
You know as much about this case as anyone who's been following it. What did you learn, or did you learn anything new from this interview with him?
You know, what I learned is that he planned to marry, he said he planned to marry Jozlynn's mother, that he loved Jozlynn, that he called her his little princess, and the fact that he says this was an accident.
So what happens now in the case as far as A, your covering of it and following what's happening, and B, what happens with Jeffrey Malmberg now?
Well, what happens next is there's a preliminary hearing that's scheduled the end of this month, I believe, and the hearing is to determine whether there's enough evidence for him to stand trial.
All right. Ken Kolker's been following this story throughout. He will continue to do so. Thanks for joining us on your day off again and doing so. And, of course, you can follow all the information on this story with Ken here on 24 Hour News 8, and, of course, all the time online at woodtv.com. Thanks, Ken.